You ready?
Let's get it. Let's get it.
Okay. Roll. Camera playback. Sound rolling. Action. What's up, everyone? Peace. It's the girl, Empress, and this is a bonus episode of the Let Me Nourish You podcast. I have someone special to join with me, and it's not a guest. It's my co-host. Okay, you can introduce yourself.
What's going on, man? I'm One Take Johnny on Instagram.
Okay, so tell us a little about yourself. Whatever you want to share, it doesn't have to be too much. Just give the folks a little something.
Well, a little something about myself. How can I say this? Well, I'm just dedicated to the journey of self mastery. Um, dedicated every day to being my best self. You know what I mean? I'm a genuine person. I also feel like I'm you know, a light person. I don't like to be too heavy. You know what I mean? And I'm just dedicated to learning every day for real. That's me in a nutshell.
Thank you. So, Johnny and I have known one another for, I think, since 2016.
About 8 years.
Yeah, we just like homies who keep in touch. But now we doing a podcast together.
So
And Johnny has been a great friend, y'all. Let's give let's give it up for your boy. Okay.
man, I appreciate that. You're a great
Here
friend
are
as
your
well.
roses. Here are your roses.
I
Okay.
appreciate it.
But yeah, we met in 2016. Yeah, and we just have dope conversations. So I didn't want to do my podcast. Well, I didn't want to do the podcast alone. So I thought, why not? You know what I'm saying? We have a male perspective. We have another human being. So yeah, each one teach one.
Man, I'm
Yeah.
happy to
So
be here, man.
thank you. We are happy to have you. So y'all, this is like this is gonna be kind of like, well, I think like a sports and healing type of podcast. Like we're gonna give y'all a little bit of like talk with the sports, a little sports politicking, because that's like one of our common interests. Johnny is the
For
athlete.
sure, for sure,
I'm the
for sure.
yeah. So yeah, I'm the reporter. So yeah, speaking of, the playoffs are on. I've been trying to watch them. Can I tell you? We're gonna start off with some sports. Can I tell you how I feel about what I've seen from the playoffs thus far?
Yeah, for sure. Let me know. Let me know what you're seeing.
Okay, so last night I didn't really catch anything. I tried to catch the Phoenix and the Suns game. I seen like a little bit of it, and I had intended to watch the highlights today before we got up here, but I didn't. So, but I do remember Devin Booker. Devin Booker it was cool. These past couple of days have been cool. Like kind of trying to tune into the games because it's like I told you, it's like a lot of like new niggas. I mean, there's a lot of new players
A
I'm
lot of
not
fresh
familiar
talent. A
with,
lot of fresh talent.
but there's also like, I'm like, damn, like it's cool seeing some, like, you know what I'm saying, some people, some players I rock with and I know. So yeah, I saw Devin Booker was going in last night, and then the day before that, who was the Mavs playing?
The Mavs are playing the Utah Jazz.
Okay, yeah, I caught a little bit of that game. I tried to watch the Warriors. Who's the Warriors
N-
going to against?
Nuggets, Warriors Nuggets.
Yeah, I didn't really catch that game, but yeah, I did see, of course, Golden State was, doing what they do. Um, but I think the game I remember more clearly would be the Mavs and the Utah Jazz, right?
Right.
Yeah, so um what's his
What do you
name?
think? What are your thoughts?
What's his name?
Who?
Who's out on the Mavs?
Luka Doncic.
Luca. Yeah. Luca Luca out. That Brunson guy.
Jalen Brown, yeah, the little fella, the little
How long
fella.
he been in the league?
I want to say like 6 years, six,
Six
5 years, something like
years?
that.
Has this
And he
nigga
been in the
ever
league for a minute.
started?
Nah, he usually come off the bench, He usually come off the bench.
Okay, I don't know nothing
It
about
may
him.
be a
Maybe
little
I'm
less
going
than that.
off.
Yeah, about 6 years, I'd say. I feel like 6 years. But he don't start because Luca's they point guard, so he hasn't been starting. He finally got opportunity to get some run, and he took advantage. He took advantage.
Yeah, I really that made me want to like watch him more. So that's someone I have my eye on. And I can't think off rip. It's like players that we already I'm familiar with as well. But yeah, I actually wrote it in my notes, but I'm on my no. Can you give me a moment? I want to like really read this because
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I wrote like two notes down, but I still want to make use of it because the point of it, and then I have access because I have my computer.
Hmm.
So, I'm working on not talking so much. Like, okay, girl, just be you. But at the same time, it's like,
Yeah, make it clear sometimes.
mm-hmm. It's not popping. Oh. I think I was speaking on someone's defense. Oh, it's coming up. Oh, okay. I wrote that the Utah Jazz they know how to find the paint because I feel like I think I was watching it in the second half, and it's like they both have like really good offense and defense, but like at one point of me actually paying attention to the game, I felt like the Jazz was having like more control over being able to actually score a play. But I
Mm.
noticed it was because they were actually going in the paint or getting to the rim, and the Mavs were kind of like just doing. I, I'm I I can't exactly remember, but they were doing more like perimeter and like 3-point shooting, and
Yeah,
they weren't
yeah.
really hitting each one. You feel me? I mean, I feel like they
Hmm.
picked it up a bit, but I had to. That's what I took note of. So yeah, you have the floor, teacher,
That's a bit.
coach,
That's a big
coach.
fan that I didn't catch that particular game. But that's a key point, though. I always say that when I'm watching the game, you want to get in the paint. I was watching the Hawks the other day when they was playing the Heat, and I'm like, they not getting into the paint. Trae Young is not able to get into the paint. So he get them kickouts, them lobs that he usually get. You know what I mean? they were switching on defense, and they were sitting down and staying in front of their man. So what you seen is exactly like a key to playoff basketball success. You got to get to the paint, got to move the ball, got to share the ball, and then your objective is to keep teams from away from your paint. Literally, the name of the game, basketball. You know what I mean? So I've seen a lot of good playoff basketball. Man, it's the best time of year for me. Basketball games every day, every day.
I'm trying to do my due diligence, my due diligence. So I just wanted to cover that. So that was cool. I'm gonna try to catch a game tonight for sure.
Got to like you on right now
I
as we
know,
speak.
I'm gonna get your ass up out of here.
As we speak.
But no, literally, my bad. When I was getting ready, I was like, damn. He probably like, this girl don't come on because these games is on. I thought about that. But okay, so I kind of wanted to just go ahead and have a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And let me do a little introduction for myself. Yes, so I'm Empress. I am the founder of Let Me Nourish You and the Let Me Nourish You podcast. And we now I have a team member for the podcast. I am a holistic facilitator. I am a creative. I'm still working on how I can just say that I'm a being of many things. Besides
Mm-hmm.
it's
Mm-hmm.
a creatrix thing. And also you just tapped into a little bit of a sports side. If you know, you know, but in the paint with Deja Delina, and then we got One Take Johnny, but I'm gonna let him handle that. I'm just saying his name. Woo, woo. But yeah. So we have some notes or whatever. And we add to them however what we feeling like would be a great conversation to have. And I had put a video in there yesterday of one of my favorite beings ever. She's a writer and she's a guide, and her name is Alex L. And she was answering a question. She had a live Q&A, and she was answering questions basically about letting beings go, letting relationships go. So, do you have any thoughts, like at the present moment, now that I bring it up, do you have any thoughts about, that anything that you took from that kind of like made you reflect or think maybe on any like current times or just in general?
Of the video, right? The
Mm-hmm.
whole video. Um, well, she said one thing that was um kind of profound to me. It just kind of stood out when she just talked about like using your words when you're dealing with people. Like a lot of people don't really. I think they take, using their words is expressing too much of their emotions or something like that, or they feel like they're not obligated to do anything to that person, say anything to that person because maybe they're not in a relationship, or maybe they don't love that person. But at the end of the day, you know what I mean, it's just a common courtesy, you know what I mean, use your words, like, you know what I mean, um, effective communication, you gotta be able to communicate in all, even when it's uncomfortable, you know what I mean, a lot of people don't want to make, don't want to have uncomfortable conversations nowadays. Especially in our generation, I feel like a lot of people are afraid to have uncomfortable, needed conversations because a lot of people don't even have uncomfortable conversations with themselves. So
Mm,
it's hard for them to have it with other people. So that was one thing that definitely stood out to me.
okay. That was good. You said a word. Okay.
What stood out for you?
At present, I definitely felt checked and I definitely felt seen at the same time and heard. So I've had like a couple of situations going on. I'm just really letting go of beings and things and mindsets and perspectives that aren't serving me anymore, but it's of course a process.
Hmm.
So it really helped me because I just am in the process of letting go. of beings in my life that I just don't feel aligned with,
Mm-hmm.
either anymore, or I just can't seem to find that alignment. So I've been like in a stage of deep reflection. So I actually did. I've always had this issue with ghosting, but it was at one point I was like, girl, you be ghosting people. So, yeah, and then you be complaining that people be ghosting you. Like, typically, like, niggas really. But it was just still like, bro, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if it's somebody I'm dealing with, or trying to deal with in a romantic way, or just platonically. At the end of the day, this is still a human being. And if I'm ghosting niggas, there's some part of me that I'm ghosting and neglecting, and I'm also doing that to others, but it just comes off in a different way because it's a different type of situation. So I had to have that realization. So I'm still like working on it now. I feel like I kind of got into I feel like I've driven myself into going back in a ghost state to some beings instead of being
Mm-hmm.
like my direct self. A lot of times I need time to think and process. And I like to also write and read things out to others. I just feel like I've given a lot of my energy, and a lot of that part of me has just been kind of, I feel like I just poured it all out. So now I'm like trying to fill my cup up of me being direct and just being a better communicator. It's like I'm losing certain I'm losing certain communication skills just to build back up better communication skills. Um that's just I'm just going a little like I'm just sharing what my analyzation is. Is analyzation a word, or is it like, or what I say, or what my analysis
I think it would be, yeah, I think it would be something like
is?
that. But
Okay, so
hey,
yeah,
but
I'm
it's
just
okay.
sharing my
Words are
thoughts. My
words are
thoughts.
all made up anyway, though, so it doesn't matter.
Feel me? See, that is great support right there. I feel the exact same way.
You feel
Okay,
me? They
fuck
all
it
made
then.
up.
Let me
They
nourish
all
you
made up.
shit. Words are made up, so we make our own words up
Yeah,
on
yeah,
here. Okay,
for sure.
but yeah, so I ended up reaching out to someone because her and I weren't agreeing on something, and I just kind of I needed my space, and I just sometimes you won't hear from me for I don't know, it just depends, but I did make it known that I just needed to correct my energy. And then the next thing that she says to me is, so you gonna apologize? Like, that's how you approach me? Like, I'm just not in the mindset of approaching anything like that. And it's like I
Right.
could easily say this, but like I said, I'm working on filling my cup back up in order to be more direct. But it's just like I'm just in a space of that I just want to really practice being silent for a long time and really like analyze and reflect on things without judging it, but at the same I'm just being like super like critical of myself at the same time. But I wrote this down one time. I keep on talking. I wrote this down one time, but I said that I wrote that like how they say you have like positive toxicity.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a self-awareness toxicity. Like
Right.
I'm
You're
always feeling like
right.
I have to be so aware and so critical and judgmental of myself. But it's just like, bro, every season we really know nothing. Like we're always going to have something that feels like a repeated lesson. Feel like there's something that we outgrew. Anyways, that just goes deeper and deeper. But basically, I'm sorry. The video made me, it checked me, and I felt seen and heard, like I said, and I just reached out because the same being texted me another day and was just like, I'm good on you, just leave me alone. So I was like, okay, like I'm gonna leave you alone, like that's fine. But I just still was like, you know what, this is someone I always try to reconnect with and that I really really love, so let me just at least just let her know that it's not in alignment. And then I'm about to do the same thing with someone else. I just feel like I can't be this friend to you that you may want me to be to you, and I can't really give you an explanation. I mean, I could, but I mean that's not even necessary because it's not even any hard feelings. It's just like, bro, like this is just a part of like prayers that I have prayed and tears that I have cried, and like, because I'm gonna end up resenting a lot of people if I just don't stop to like get back on my shit when it comes to. I'm just taking my energy and my power back, bro. Like everybody can't go.
They
And I'm
can't.
just
Not at
tired of
all.
I'm tired of allowing myself to like have a relationship with others' potential and not the reality of who they are in the now.
Mm.
So,
And
but
that's
that really
big right
helps
there.
me. So it's helping. She definitely pushed me to just get back on my A game with like being direct about like, I don't want to be in this space with you, and that's okay. And there's nothing. It's nothing wrong with you. It's just not alignment. But that video helps me to push me through to get to these uncomfortable conversations we're speaking of, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Right. And I think that's, what I mean, that's big. I think that's big to be able to communicate in that sense. 'Cause I feel like, in a sense, when you hold on to, like, if you don't communicate, well, for me, I know if I don't communicate certain things on the situation, I feel like it follows me. Like, it never fully leaves my spirit. You know what I mean? It's always that dang, like, what happened with this person? What happened with this person? But I feel like once I communicate how I feel, it's over with. I can move on. You can move on. There's clarity from both sides on what's going on, and there's no emotional baggage following me around. You know what I mean? As I'm moving around on my journey. So I think that was a. And she said one thing in the video too that I really, you know, resonated with is the um argument through text. She said, "I'm gonna call you." That's me right
mhm.
there. I want to call you. I want to hear your voice. I need you to hear my
Mhm.
voice because through text you can take anything anyway. Like tone of voice, all that matters in communication. Like not only what you say, is how you say it. You know what I mean? And being able to even take a step further, I need to be on FaceTime too. I need to see your face. Because
Mhm.
facial expressions, body language will tell you everything before a person's mouth will. No matter
Mhm.
how hard that person try to, you know what I mean, you can see it.
Mhm.
So that really hit me when she said that because I agree with that for sure. I want to call you. I want you to see me. I want you to hear everything, no matter what it is. It could be good, bad, or indifferent. But being able to see somebody, I feel like that's another connection. It could be uncomfortable too. You know what I mean? But that's another step into to growing. You don't never really know who you are until you in a situation you never thought you would be in, and then we're gonna see how you react. We're gonna see how you react. Then that'll let you know.
That's real shit. I feel like every time you say some shit, I say that. But for real though, that was beautiful.
I
You
appreciate
know,
that. I appreciate
um, feeding off that. Oh, about the texting. So that was one thing that she said that checked me and made me feel seen and heard because it always depends on the environment. It depends on just what phase of life I'm in and how that phase of my life is going internally and externally. Um, Well, I just really gonna say more so internally because presenting it is the external part of it. But yeah, like I sent a text like a week ago, saying like, I just basically can't be a part of this anymore and I appreciate it. But it's just like cuz I don't have the energy to call. I don't have the energy to do the things that, you know, if I wasn't feeling the way I was feeling, if I was if I wasn't processing or feeling the way I was feeling or processing whatever I was feeling, if I, I'm sorry, I'm trying to get it out. If
You got it. You got it.
depending upon how I'm processing what I'm feeling, I may not have the energy to do what I ideally want to do. And sometimes I won't even think about it until I hear some shit or someone says some shit. I'm like, bro. And then I get in this mindset of that's what I usually do, or that's what I ideally do, or that's what I expect of myself. And then I just feel like without me even knowing it, that's a way of me having like this perfectionist syndrome. Like, and then that's why it's always important to remind self that it's an ever evolving journey. And like, cause when she said that, I was like, damn, I did just send that text. Like I just been like kind of unhappy with myself in a sense, but I've been like
Hmm.
carrying myself through compassion because I know I'm stepping into like this next version of me. So it's like I'm feeling like I'm not authentic in certain ways, but truly I'm just like rediscovering myself. And that's why that circles back to like the silence part. Like just wanted to be silent because it's like I don't really know who I am right now. I just know my
Mm.
heart. And I know my heart for sure, but it's like I'm just getting to know myself. So yeah, that video like really hit for me, but it definitely put me in check. It definitely, I did send out text today. Like I let the person, because when I text that person, they had said, I'd rather have a conversation. Like, can you call me or whatever? Like, can we have a conversation instead of just like, I mean, that's true. Um, and with that, it's just like that goes back in like into some more personal things as far as like I don't like having the same talk again, and I feel like I that's something else I have poured into things over time,
Hmm.
and it's just like I'm just tired. I'm like jaded. But I sent them a text and letting them know I had space today if they did, and then I also sent a text to someone and said I would like to speak with them over the phone or in person. And that's the person I'm gonna say, we're just not. I'm just not. I don't feel the energy of how I can be the type of friend that I want to be to somebody. So definitely gonna pray before
Man,
anything else.
that's the thing about the journey, though. It never stops. It'll never stop. Like, there's never a point where you'll feel like you got it. I don't think it'll ever be a point you feel like. It'll be a point where you feel like you elevated. Like, dang,
Mm,
I'm at a different space than I was. You know what I mean? Last year, 2 years ago, 5 years ago. You know what I mean? And you may always be happy through them phases, but you'll notice incrementally. You know what I mean? I grew in this area. Boom, I grew in this area.
mm,
Cause this shit, 50, 60-year-olds still try to work on themselves and get themselves together. You know what I mean? Like I think that especially, when you're young, like I feel like we are, no matter, even though I feel old. Like when like I'm 25, like you damn near feel like you put these markers on you, which bring, unnecessary pressure. Like, oh damn, when I hit 30, I need this to be in order.
mm,
Or when I hit 35, I need to do this, that, and the third. And then I think you just lose sight of just doing the things today to just make sure, you know what I mean? When you get to 30, you set up right. Like you stress so much about 30, and you don't even do nothing throughout the day because you're like, oh, 30's coming. I ain't did this. Well, I ain't did this. Well, I don't know this. You just find all these excuses. And at the end of the day, you just hurt your confidence. You just don't feel
Mm-hmm.
like, and it's hard to get up. You know what I mean? I feel like these things I kind of went through, like, dang, bro, I ain't doing this. Like, I ain't doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm supposed to be doing this instead of just taking it, day by day. Formulate a plan, of course. Always have a plan, and just fall in love with the process because it's a day by day. Every day is a challenge, especially when you really care. Like if you really care about your development as a person, every day is a challenge. Like, but that's what make it worth it because every day it feels like it's full of stuff. Like even though a day full of nothing, eventfully, you may be having all these mental challenges in your head, like through small interactions with people or just energy battles within yourself. You know what I mean? So I think it's important that as everybody go through their journey, that we, you know what I mean, show compassion, so show empathy for other people, but definitely for yourself because this shit ain't easy.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have no handbook. that nobody gives a hand. We learning from parents that didn't have no handbook. They damn sure ain't had no handbook. you know what I mean? So I think we definitely got to be more compassionate with. I feel like if you're more compassionate with yourself, you'd be more compassionate with people.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's a little spill for me right there.
And that makes me think about like the step back. Like that's why you got to take a step back. So
right, right.
sometimes, and it always happens with each ascension, no matter how intense the ascension is or isn't. But that was beautiful. So one question before we get off. Um. So did how did watching that video make you decide that you were going to communicate better at present? Like in that moment, or like, even just reflecting upon watching the video and listening to what Alex was speaking about. What and what ways did you feel like you could improve yourself? Did you feel like it checked any areas for you just at present?
Mm,
Because the process is different every day, you feel me? So
for
just wondering.
sure, for sure. At present, I feel like more so it hit me more from a standpoint of um affirming. I feel like because I kind of already had those thoughts about like I haven't really been put in a situation recently to really test that about communication
Mm-hmm.
to that level. So what I think I would do in that situation, I think I'll do not in that situation, but in any situation where I'm put in where my communication is put to the test, I feel like I do good, obviously, from my knowledge, but I haven't been put in that situation. But I say that to say it just affirmed what I believe about the situation because I always felt like that. Because it just when you talk to people, da da da, this person did that, this person did that, and obviously ghosting comes up across the nation or whatever, and it's just like I always felt like what I mean. I never knew. I feel like she put it better into words about what's going on, like why you're not communicating with that person when you could just tell that person how you feel, and I feel like yeah, she really confirmed a lot of thoughts for me in this at this present time. She really confirmed a lot of thoughts.
Are there any ways that you feel like you can communicate better with yourself at present, or like have you done that reflection lately? Like, in what ways can I communicate better with myself, not other people, but just me? Like, what can I like really work on right now? Not saying that anything is weakened, but
Nah, for
is there
sure.
an area where you is thinking about it? Maybe it's like I could probably do better than that, or maybe I do want to be open to this communication style, or.
Um, I think the thing for me, especially when I communicate with myself, is what I said earlier. I feel like sometimes, I'm hard on myself as well. Like I think that the expectations that you hold yourself to, or the standard that I try to hold myself to in situations. And when I don't uphold myself to that situation, my self talk is not great. You know what I mean? It's pretty
Mm-hmm.
negative. And
Mm.
and I feel like that reflects sometimes in my communication, in the sense of when I feel like my feelings may be played with in an aspect like that. I feel like it kind of shows in my communication in that aspect. You know what I mean? Like I'm not as open to what's going on about the situation. I'm just only thinking about me, and it's just all about how I feel and what I'm thinking about in my head, and I'm not necessarily hearing whatever is going on with that other person, whatever is the issue, or how that person may feel about a certain situation. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's one area that I constantly try to work at. Like just when things, you know what I mean, may not go my way, I feel like I could get negative, even though I'm a naturally optimistic person. But sometimes I feel like it's hard to always stay that way. You know what I mean?
Well, you got this.
Yeah,
Thank you
every
for
day, every day.
sharing. Is there anything that you wanted to ask or say, or before we get up out of here?
Mainly, I just want to, welcome everybody to the journey. uh, I'm just happy to be here, happy to be able to share um my viewpoints, and I'm even more excited to hear your viewpoints and other people's viewpoints that we'll be able to take in. And I'm pretty much just happy to be here. We're happy to see this growth, because where we at today, it'll be miles ahead next month, the month after, and years after. So I appreciate everybody for being along the ride. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and Johnny is a faithful listener of the Let Me Nourish You podcast. Let's just say that. Let's give it up.
For sure, man. Give it up to yourself, man. I love the platform.
Thank you. You've been a supporter.
For sure, for sure.
Definitely, and I appreciate it, and I'm grateful that you were cool with being my co-host. I definitely enjoy our conversations. Like I said, I'm going to give Johnny his praise right now, as you know, this is me introducing him to the nourishers, the community. So yeah, definitely a great person. Always have been.
I
Definitely
appreciate it.
enjoy the conversations. Definitely. Would you say that we are like close acquaintances, or would you say that we are like friends?
I feel like we're friends. Definitely friends.
Okay. Okay, cool. I feel like that's an important question to ask.
It is. It is. It is.
Yeah.
But we're
Okay. I feel
definitely
like we
friends.
friends too. Okay. Okay. Well, this is a bonus episode. Well, this wraps up the bonus episode. We really had this thing where I was like, oh, well, maybe we should like write down questions and like interview each other. But I was like, no, it's cool if it just flows. Like, we testing the waters, but why not just let it flow how like regular conversations flow?
Right. And it kind of
Oh,
did flow. Yeah, I mean, that kind of did flow. I thought it was on the phone for a minute.
yeah. But hey, one more thing though. One more thing.
What's up?
Bruh, y'all. Let me tell y'all about Creator, okay? So, long story short, I had this little job and I loved it for the time being until I got tried. And then they tried me again,
Hmm.
and accused me of taking a book or whatever, right? I'm just like, bro, I already have like real deal fucking trauma that this is triggering. So like for y'all to say that's outlandish. So it really, like, y'all, I wanted to go in, and I'll touch base as far as my process about like with that in another episode. But basically I just handled the situation well. It lasted for like a couple of weeks
Very well.
or
Very
like
well.
thank you. He was there. Okay, period. Had my back. I was fucking calling. Like, I probably didn't drain your energy, but I appreciate you for being there. Which gets me to one of my points is I had great support system. And yeah, it's just crazy because I got justice because like literally 2 days, 3 days ago, one of the girls that I'm cool with up there was like, I literally just found the book that they accused you. I'm like, bro, Creator, God, my ancestors are so good because like it really was a test, you feel me? And I feel like I got justice. Like that's really what I wanted.
Definitely.
I definitely
Definitely.
prayed for justice because I knew that they were playing with me, bro. And it was also great for like me to trust my intuition in another situation for to test my faith. And I want to find a better word than to test, but yeah. So yeah, that definitely made me want to just continue to not go off on people, but still, stand my ground as divinely as possible. But yeah, because it's like every time, and most of the time I handle situations the lightest way possible. I don't really go crazy at all. I more so go inward and possibly get depressed and anxious and shit. But yeah, it's just stuff like that I'm so grateful and thankful for because it makes me it encourages me to continue to be a better person and will constantly work on being a better being and being just of love and but just still finding that fucking balance. But yeah,
Definitely.
I just wanted to thank you for again because yeah. But yeah, y'all, we be having real conversations and shit. So we just thought it would be a great idea to bring it to the platform. I feel like it's very healing. Like I said, I'm grateful to have a man's perspective. I love the way you think. So yeah, thank you for being here. And I hope you enjoy your playoffs. We'll be chatting about that. It's part of the job now. I gotta make sure I'm watching the playoffs, okay?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Need to
Off season
tap
we do
in,
playoffs
tap
and bonus
in.
episodes.
Yeah, tap in.